Hello, brothers. Hello, sisters. Come on in. Let's get this content in. Let's get it in. We're about to approach the weekend. But before the weekend comes, let's get to this content tonight. We're going to get in a little deep on this particular topic. And I hope that you brothers and sisters, you have just a little time, but I'm not going to keep you that long. Okay, how you doing, Sister Gil? I'm not going to keep you that long, brothers and sisters. So come on in. And I want you to go ahead and grab your seat and come up as close as possible. And I want you to turn your ears on frequency. Turn your frequency up because I got some good content to give to you tonight, my brothers and sisters. I was looking forward to seeing you all. How you doing, Sister Cheryl Smith? I see all of you all. I see some of you. Your Hancock down there, your John Hancock. Come on in. We're about to get into this content. I hope that a few more people can join us. But for those of you that are going to be staying around, we're going to get into it. You will not regret listening to this particular content tonight. How you doing, my brothers and sisters out there? How you doing? Me, myself, I am doing excellent, blessed with a twist of serenity, my brothers and sisters. As usual, I look forward to talking to you all. And this is my normal introduction or spiel. Let me introduce myself. If you've never seen me before, my name is Tony M. Toomer. And what am I about? I'm about talking about relationships, my brothers and sisters. And when I talk about relationships, I'm talking about a relationship pertaining to that of a man and a woman that should be serious, committed, and should move towards a covenant relationship. And I believe strongly in the biblical account of a relationship. God had a unique relationship with the man being Adam. Then he had a unique relationship with the woman being Eve. And he brought both of them together. And at that point, the man Adam said, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. I should call a woman because she came from man. If you believe in any other type of relationship, my brother and sister, you have what is called a free will. You could do whatever you choose to do with your free will. But as far as I go, I talk strictly about the relationship of that between a man and a woman. That's what my main focus. So I hope that you can understand it, my brothers and sisters. And of course, I'm encouraging you to stay because you can really pick up something on what I'm about to talk about. Now, with all that said, we're about to jump into the content tonight. The topic for tonight, my brothers, the topic for tonight, my sisters, is what happens to your soul during and after sex. I'm going to say that two more times. What happens to your soul during and after sex? I know some people, they probably saying, well, I ain't really gave it too much thought, but you need to give it some thought. And I'm going to put it out there before you, my brothers and sisters. So we're going to talk about what happens during and after sex, okay? So again, the topic is what happens to your soul during and after sex. My brothers and sisters out there, can you by chance tell me what you think happens to the soul of a man and a woman during and after sex? Do you have any idea what takes place? Do any of you have any idea what takes place when a man and a woman get together and they have sex? Well, if you don't know, my brothers and sisters, we're about to get into it. We're going to find out what happens when a man and woman have sex, and it's more than what some people may think. It's more. I'm telling you, my brother, I'm telling you, my sister, it's something deep about this thing called sex. As a matter of fact, sex is so important that sex is, two of the most popular, the most popular topics in the world is God, and then after God, the other things that most people talk about, sex, money, and so on and so on. So after God, whatever some people God is, then you talk about money, and then you talk about sex. So sex is a very important topic. As a matter of fact, sex is so important that God introduced sex to Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. That's where the first act of sexual intercourse took place, and it was in the Garden of Eden between Adam and Eve. So we know the first couple that did that. So, where does the act, my brothers, or where does the act, my sister, of sex really takes place? Or to say it differently, my brother and my sister, where is the birthplace of sex? My brother and sister, the birthplace of sex is right here, your mind. Sex starts in the mind, or we could say the heart, mind, will of the man and woman. It happens on the inside. Before it happens to your body, my brother and sister, believe what I'm saying. It takes place beyond your body, and then your body feels it, okay? It's nothing, let me tell you, my brother and sister, to tell you the truth, there's nothing wrong with sex. Some people don't want to talk about sex. They think that sex is I have said this on one of my previous shows, some people think that sex is a taboo subject. Some people think that it's nasty and all that kind of stuff. No, sex is not nasty, my brother and sister. It depends on the man and the woman, what they do with the thing called sex. Because sex, my brother and sister, it's a beautiful thing when done the right way. If it's done in a perverted way, now that's another story, okay? That's another story. Now, there are 3 types of sex, my brothers and sisters. There are 3 types of sex. Number 1, there's fornication. Fornication is defined as consensual sexual intercourse between 2 people not married to each other. The second type of sex is adultery. It is when one or more of the parties having consensual sexual intercourse is married, but they're having it with a third party. So, and then the final part of sex is the consummation. What is consummation sex? Consummation sex is the action of making a marriage or relationship complete by having sexual intercourse. So there are 3 types of sex. Again, I'm going to go over it again. The first one is fornication. It's defined again as consensual sexual intercourse between 2 people not married to one another. How you doing, Sister Flo? Adultery is when one or more of the partner have consensual sexual intercourse, is married to a third person. Then the consummational sex is the action of making a marriage or relationship complete by having sexual intercourse. For those of you that are coming in, the topic for tonight is what happens to your soul during and after sex. In this very, very important, my brother and sister, there's something that takes place. Sister Sheriff said sex is intimacy is beautiful between a man and a woman that is married one to another. That's very, very true. Very, very true. But we're going to break it down some more. Some of my brothers and sisters, if you're currently having sex, now you might not be having sex while you're watching me at this particular time, but if you are actively having sex, my brothers and sisters, you fall up on one of the 3 categories that I just listed. You either having fornication, that means that you're not married, or you either doing the adultery thing, meaning that you're married and you having sex with someone other than your spouse, or you having the consummation sex, whereas you're married. So if you're sexual active, my brother and sister, you are under one of those 3 categories. That's all it fall up under. Now let's go ahead, my brothers. Let's go ahead, my sister, and say what happens to the body directly. How you doing, Sister Brenna? What happens directly to the body when sex takes place? You see, a man and a woman can welcome unwanted guests like some form of sexual transmitted disease like genital warts, herpes, something that you can't get rid of, herpes and AIDS, but they have something that they treated, but it can't, it can't eliminate it. So those are the things that can happen to the body if you do it basically in the wrong way, and unwanted pregnancy. That's what can happen strictly to the body. But we are talking about right now what happened to the soul during and after the sexual act. How you doing, Brenda Bailey? And Sister Flo, thank you so much for the popcorn and soda. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, my brother and sister, when it comes to sex, sex may appear to be a very casual thing. It may appear to be casual, but it is not casual because it involves more than your body. Remember, I told you, my brother and sister, the birthplace for sex takes place in the mind first. Now, once upon a time, to tell you the truth, like I had listed, if you actively having sex, you either fornicating, you are doing the adultery thing, or you consummate a relationship. Now, I don't want to sit here and act like I'm holier than thou, okay? I have fornicated. I have done that. Yep, I'm guilty. I'm guilty of some of that stuff, my brother and sister. I'm guilty. And I'm guilty to the point where I want you, my brother, and you, my sister, not to go down certain roads, okay? I'm trying to help you. My sister, tell me this. How many of you, sister, a man have called and he desired to have sex with you, and he said, I want to come over there so we could have, do some fornication. Or I want to come to you so we can have a little adultery. No man in the hardly say, let's do some fornication or let's do a little adultery. They're not going to say that. They're going to use a terminology like, I would like to make love to you. Whereas that man, I have said this before, no man or woman can make love to one another. The only thing you could do, my brother or sister, you can express love, but you can't make love. That's the only thing you could do. So that's an old, worn out phrase. Sister Cheryl said, you make soul connection, and I'm just guessing. Yes, that's true. We're going to get into it. But when it comes to sex, like I said, my brother and sister, it goes more than the body. You see, some men and some women think that, okay, you have sex and it's just a thing. It could be where a man and woman have sex one time and that's it. Or it could be a man and woman could have sex several times and that'll be it. And then it's some men and women, they could be having sex on and off during the year, throughout the year, and they're not married. So that's the reality. That's out there. But let me tell you this. It's more than the climaxing, and it's more than the ejaculation when it comes to sex. That's just on a physical level. The physical level, that could be temporary. How you doing, Sister Renee? It's a temporary thing, the physical part. You know what I mean? It's the physical part. And you see, it's some benefits, and then it might not be so many benefits. Because you see, this is where we lead back into the thing called the soul tie. You see, the soul tie is like a linkage in the soul realm between two people. It happens on the inside. It's a linkage between two people. It links the soul, which means the mind, the will, and emotion together, which can bring forth both benefits or negative results. The positive effect of soul tie, my brothers and sisters, if it's in a godly marriage, God linked two people together, like what the Bible tells us, they become one flesh. As a result of them becoming one flesh, it binds them together if done the right way. Whereas the man and woman cleave to one another during the act of sex, and that's the consummation of the relationship, which is very, very unique. For example, Adam and Eve. When you look at Genesis 4:1, Genesis 4:1, it said, and Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. Check this out. It said, and Adam knew Eve. What does that mean? What does it really mean? Adam knew his wife. It meant that he knew her on a physical level. They had sexual intercourse. So my sister, what does it mean when a man say to you, I want to get to know you? Have you sisters ever pondered that? I want to get to know you. But when we some people, they take that out of context, but a lot of time, my sister, let me tell you this. And we're narrowing it down to United States of America. And as usual, I'm being generous. If you have 10 men, sisters, if you have 10 men, out of the 10 men, and like I said, I'm being generous. I'm not going to give it a whole, all 10 of them want you. I'm not going to say that. But I will say that maybe eight or 7 of those men want to know you on a sexual level. How you doing, Sister Keisha? So I'm telling you, sister, majority of the men that will approach you would like to know you on a sexual level. And then on the flip side, which I'm not talking about too much, but brother, a lot of time on the flip side, a lot of women, we talk about United States of America, they look about what they can extract from you. And and this is just, I'm being generous. Out of 10 women, you probably got about maybe 7 that's about the bad. What you can do for her, okay? That's most women, they looking at what you could do for them, brothers, okay? So it's the typical game, okay? So sister, back to my question. Sisters, when a man say, I really want to get to know you, what does it really mean? If we look at it from a biblical standpoint, when the word new first came between Adam and Eve, we see that a baby resulted, okay? And like I said, when it comes to sex, if it's just purely, quote unquote, a casual thing, and it don't have no meaning to it, it has a meaning, but it might not have too much meaning to you, but it has a deep meaning, which can lead to consequences. You see, sister, you and brother, you got to look at it like this. It's cultivating. Something is going to be cultivated. Sister, your body is like soil. S-O-L-I-L. Your body is like soil. The man is the husband, like a farmer, right? And he wants to plant. What does a man have? A man has seeds. So the man gonna plant the seeds in a good way, or he's gonna plant the seeds in a not so good way. In a good way, in a not so good way, he's gonna plant it, and you all gonna be in a state of fornication, which means that you're single, both of you are single, or he's gonna plant his seed in an adulterous way where he's married or you married, you're both married, or he's gonna plant it in the good ground, meaning you're married. Okay, sister. So the man bears the seed, which we know as what scientists say is the sperm, and you are the soil, like the ground. He's gonna plant in you. So when a man comes to you, more than likely the man is the aggressor. But there are some women that are the aggressor, but there are some men that the aggressor. And if it's done in a not so negative way, if it's done in a negative way, and it just looked at like it's temporary. When you lay down with someone, my brother and sister, it's more than just the ejaculation, like I said, and more than the climax. It gonna get to the soul, but only when it restricted to the body on a negative level, like I had just said earlier, you could get some unwanted from it. You can get those sexual transmitted disease that you might can get rid of, but then there are some that you can't get rid of. The only thing you could do is treat it, just like herpes. My brother and sister ain't got nothing out there that can take herpes away, presently as I speak. They don't have nothing that can take AIDS away, presently as I speak. The only thing they can do with herpes and AIDS, they can treat it, but they cannot eliminate it as I speak. And to top it off, it could be some unwanted pregnancies. That's the negative part that could come out of quote unquote casual sex. There's nothing negative. There's nothing casual about sex. Sister Keisha said, I've been celibate for over 8 years and it feels great. Amen, sister. How you doing? Sister Gail Young. Now, what happens to your soul during and after sex? So some people don't give it no thought what happened to your soul during and after sex. Okay, remember, a man and woman, we're made out of 3 components. We're made out of spirit, soul, and body. Okay, so most people, they looking to get their body gratified. Most people, that's what they think about, getting their body gratified, right? But after the body during the act of sex, let's talk about it. It started in the mind first, right? The sex started in the mind of the man and the woman too. It starts somewhere. So the origin is in the mind. And when the origin is in the mind, someone is going to be the aggressor to make it go down. So when it goes down, we're going to talk about not being married first. We're going to talk about what happens to your soul during and after sex when you're not married versus when you're married, okay? That's how we're going to do it. We're going to talk about when you're not married. During the act of sex, brother and sister, when you get together, the man places his penis, and this is not, don't think I'm taking you back to sexual education. I'm just telling you something what the teacher did not tell you in school. You see, the teachers told you only about the physical aspect, but a lot of times they didn't tell you about the soul and the spiritual part of it. But the soul and the spirit does get affected, okay? So when the man and the woman on a physical level, the man insert his penis in a woman's vagina, okay? He inserts his penis in a woman's vagina, and you know it's some friction that happens, and more than likely the man is going to ejaculate. It's questionable about a woman. A woman may climax, she might not. It just depends. But the only thing she could do is climax on a physical level. The only thing he can do is ejaculate. Now, once he ejaculates and she climax, you see, why the bodies are interfacing together, my brother and sister, is more than fluids being passed. And I have touched on this before, but I'm going a little deeper. It's more than fluids getting passed, okay? What you don't realize, my brother and sister, is that, like I had said one time, and you probably have heard this before from somebody else or whatever, you're not just exchanging body fluids. You're changing your essence, your energy. You have a soul. Your soul is your mind, your will, and your emotion. While you, brother, and you, sister, are interfacing on a physical level, whether you like it or not, your soul is getting bonded together. Even if it's a one-night stand, your soul is getting bonded together. Your mind is getting interface together, your will is getting interfaced together, and your emotion are getting interfaced. All of this is taking place while your body's going up and down, or however you want to do it. You're getting connected. Your soul is getting connected. That's why a lot of people, this men and women, you wonder why some men and women act the way they do. A lot of it comes because of sex when it was not done in the right way. Like I said, I'm not trying to be holier than thou, my brother and sister, but I know what it's like to have sex in not a not so positive way. I understand. So I'm not here to act like I'm righteous or nothing like that, but I have been on both sides of it. I have been on both sides when I did it in the wrong way, and I have been on the side when I have done it in the right way. And it's very different. It's totally different when you are not married and having sex and when you are married and having sex. Because like when it comes to the soul, like I said, you got the mind, the will, and the emotion interfacing. Once you doing that, all of this stuff is happening. That's why God don't want men and women to have sex. Because God already knew that sex going to do something to us after we do it. He knows. He knew it, and he knows. That's why he wanted done in a marriage relationship. And that's why right now, some of you brothers and sisters, it might be some of you that I'm talking to, or you might know some people. You think that some people are acting crazy and doing certain things, or they have attitudes about how men are and how women are. How you doing, Sister Angela? How men are and how some women are. They would say they crazy or whatever. As a matter of fact, let's look at it like this. Brothers, once you have sex with a woman, if you're not married to her, you either fornicating or you doing the adultery thing, right? One of the two. You're doing you fornicating or you're adultery. Even though you want to say you made love to her and all that kind of stuff, or you just want to use the base word sex. No. If you're not married to her, you were fornicating, or you were just doing the adultery thing, right? So you interfacing with this lady. And then once you get finished, you think that you can put a woman in a category because men are good at trying not to get their minds and their emotions and everything with a woman. Because for the most part, men basically think that we could just do this in just a physical thing. Now, when you do that with a woman, most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, when a woman decides to have sex with a man, most of the time, if he does not take it from her, she like him. Most of the time, brother, the woman, if she decides to have sex with you, she like you. But what tends to happen during the sexual act in the inner phase of it, a lot of times women start getting more emotional. Because you see, women, they're taking, first of all, they're taking your penis into their vagina. You're entering into her, okay? So when you enter into her, her body is wrapping around you. So that's you get tied up in a knot then. And then women, they be thinking something whole different than what we think. Because most of you brothers, you think about just popping. That's what most of you brothers think about. You mostly think about popping. And when I say most of you brothers, you are selfish, and you just think about getting your gratification from a woman so you can unload on it. That's what most of you brothers think. Not all brothers, but that's what most of you brothers think. When I say most of you brothers, keep in mind when I say brother and sister, I'm not talking only about the black race. I'm talking about brothers and sisters of different races, okay? That can identify with what I'm talking about. So, brother, when you deposit in that woman, you're doing more than just your semen in there, okay? You have passed along your energy. She have passed along your energy. That's why some brothers and sisters, you act certain ways and you don't understand what the root of it is. It's because you did it the wrong way. God did not want us to do it anyway. And like I said, I'm the first one to raise my hand on the broadcast that said that I did what was wrong. I fornicated quite a bit, okay? But you see, the thing about it is when God, before the thing with God, when you're doing this, my brother, when you're doing this, my sister, when you detach from one another physically, it doesn't end there. What you do, you get up, you get a rag, you clean yourself up, it doesn't end there. It's still, your soul have gotten attached, and you don't realize a lot of times. You don't realize it. So if you do a one-night stand, you still got that person energy in you. Sister and brother, to tell you the truth, everybody that you have had sex with, you got a piece of them and they got a piece of you. Unless the Lord come in your life and he wipe all that away. If the Lord doesn't come in your life and wipe all that away, you're toting around the piece of that person. You see, when you lay down with somebody, my brother and sister, it's just like, and I have heard this illustration before, it's like you get two pieces of wood. You get two pieces of wood. Let me give you a good example. Now, this is not no wood, but this is just an example. I got this and this. Sister, this is you. And brother, this is you. So when your bodies connect together, other than that liquid stuff that come out of both of you all, the energy is exchanged. So even though you could come apart physically you could come apart like that, but your soul don't come apart like that. It doesn't do it. It's still bound. And you see, if you have glue, when you have the glue part come with the soul, okay? The glue part come with the soul. So when a man and woman detach with the body, you can easily detach with the body, but you can't do that with the soul. And you don't recognize it, my brother and sister. So when the soul part come, when you're trying to get or go away, you tearing one another. So part of this person, if like I said, you got some glue and it's stuck, something's gonna happen when you try to break away. So he gonna take a part of you, sister, and sister, you're gonna take a part of him. Even like I said, if it's not a one-night stand. So that's why a lot of time you have some brother and some women, they have different attitudes about men and women. And it comes from, a lot of this comes from when you have sex in the wrong way. It affect your psyche. It affect your mind so much, your soul, your will and your emotion. Because you see, you willfully decided to get tangled with that person. And your mind, we're going to talk about, then you see, emotionally, you start getting tied to that person. That's why a lot of times, my brothers and sisters, right now, you could be in a relationship with someone else, or you could be by yourself. And there are certain people that you probably slept with, but those certain people that keep coming to your mind. Some of you probably can recognize what I'm talking about. If you have had some people you might have forgotten about, okay, but you still got a piece of them. But it's certain people that you really held onto their energy. But everybody you done slept with now, keep in my mind that they're a part of you. Everybody is a part of you. Okay, Sister Cheryl said that my video keep freezing up. Is it freezing up? Because on my side, I'm looking at the computer and I see that it's still going on. I'm sorry about it freezing up. But anyway, when your soul is tired, that's why some people do things. That's just like this, brother. Like when a woman, this Sullivan girl, I forgot what her name, she had this song, bust the window out of your car. You see, when a woman busts the window out of your car, some people say she crazy, right? If a woman walk up on you, brother, and you with another woman, and she start getting rowdy and stuff in public, she's emotional. Especially if you have lied to her. And sometimes you don't have to lie to her. Sometimes it could be something that you have done to mislead her, so she took it to heart. She's emotional now, and it's in her mind. So a lot of time when women behave in an improper way, even if it's in public, whatever, or they come want to destroy stuff, even if they just bust your windows, flatten your tires, and all that kind of stuff, instead of going directly to you, they know that that's probably going to affect you somewhat. You understand? They know it's going to affect you somewhat. So a lot of times, brother, you need to stop saying that she crazy. She not crazy. She's not crazy. She did something that she shouldn't have done with you. And then there's some of you brothers too. You get to the point psychologically where when a woman decides to go on and she get in another relationship, you start stalking the woman. Well, women stalk too. But brother, a lot of you brothers, you want to stalk the woman. And you stalk her because of that sexual exchange that you had. And you thinking that she giving it to another man, which she probably will be. If not, she probably more than likely going to. Then again, she might not, but more than likely she's going to get. And you can't bear the thought of she giving her body to another man. But it's more than her body, what you don't understand, brother. You don't want her to get emotional attached to another man. Because we know as men that women are emotional. We know this, that women are emotional. And brothers, to tell you the truth, you are emotional too. Because you see, the thing about it, when you continue to have sex with a woman, and a woman continue to have sex with you, most of the time, the woman going to get more emotional earlier than the man. And the man could be stonewall or whatever, but the more the man has sex with this woman and they get familiar with one another, the man get familiar with her, and she know what he like physically, and he know what she like physically, and it's going to be more than just the physical part. It's going to be more. So like I said, it's more than ejaculation and more than the climax. It's your soul is being tied. And a lot of you brothers and sisters right now, you have moved on from a relationship, but you're still thinking about somebody else. And you could be in a relationship right now. Right now. You could be married right now, but you're thinking about somebody else. And a lot of time, my brother and sister, if you in another relationship and you having sex with someone else, to tell you the truth, you going to probably do the apple and the orange thing. You're going to compare partners. That's another reason why God don't want us to do it, because you're going to compare your past to your present. It's a human thing. You eventually you're going to think about that current woman and a woman that you were with in the past. If the current woman that you were with, brother, if she don't give it to you like that other woman, you probably gonna have a problem, but it's gonna be in your mind. You might not say nothing to that present partner. The same thing too, sister. You could have been with a man that tantalize your body. And you could be present in a relationship with a man right now that tantalize your body. But somebody in your past, he did some things that your current man is not doing. You understand? So you, brother, and you, sister, you're going to crave for that stuff that you was accustomed to from your body. Your body going to crave for that. But even though your body craving for that, guess what? It's all in your mind. It's locked up. It's locked in your mind. That other person locked up in your mind. Some of you brothers and sisters, you're carrying other people in your mind. And you've been doing it for years. And a lot of you probably, you in a relationship with a good man or a good woman probably, and that man and a woman, and some of you, when it comes to sex, and I had said this before, some of you brothers, some of you sisters, in order to have the physical part satisfied, some of you brothers, some of your sisters, you have to close your eyes and think about that person that you were with in the past to have an intimate time with your present partner. Some of you have to do that because the soul tie is still clinging together. You understand? You still think about the other person. So no matter what you say, my brother, no matter what you say, my sister, even if it's been a one-night stand, you carrying that person energy with you. And the only way it's going to be clean, you have to have a relationship with Jesus. If you don't, it's going to be there whether you want to acknowledge it or not, it's going to be there. So, brother, every woman that you slept with, you got her in you. You don't have, your body is not connected to her, but you got her in you, whether you believe it or not. And the same thing, sister, every man that you have slept with, you got a piece of them, whether you can remember or not, it's in you. And some of them come up to your mind. I could tell you this too, my brother and sister. Let's talk. Some of you brothers and sisters, if you see that woman that you slept with in the past, you know what's going to come to your mind? You slept with her. But that might not be all you think about it, but it's going to come to your mind. And brother, guess what? The sister, they do the same thing too. When a sister look at a man that she slept with in the past, it comes to her mind too. And some of you sisters know I'm telling the truth. If you slept with a man and you see the man, you're gonna remember an intimate time with him. It ain't no ifs and buts about it. You going to remember that intimate time. That's why it's so dangerous, my brother and sister, to keep sleeping with someone because of that soul tie. And that's what happened after the act of sex. I mean, during sex, you exchange the body fluids again, and then you also doing, how you doing, Sister Deborah Scott? And then it's that the soul, the will, and body. That's why it's so difficult, my brother and sister. That's why some of you brothers and sisters, you can't maintain a relationship. A lot of brothers and sisters, not all of you, but you sabotage relationship, or you know someone that sabotage relationship. Because if God bring a good man or a good woman into your life, and if you have did all these little things, you could sabotage the relationship because you're not ready for a good man, sister, or brother. You're not ready for a good woman because you got so much trash in you. Sister Keith said, can you have a spiritual soul tie with someone? Yes, you can. If both of you are in Christ, you can have a spiritual connection. If both of you are in Christ, you can have a spiritual connection. You can. Now, on the marriage part, let me tell you about the marriage. Brother and sister, if you get married, if you're on the verge of getting married, you need to pray to God to help cleanse a lot of that stuff out of you so you could be good for your mate. You got to be good for your mate other than the physical part. That's right, sure, you got to be delivered, set free. And a lot of men and women don't do this. They do not do it because they think they're good. They think all is good, and that was part of my past. Yes, it was a part of your past, but it's a lot of trash in you. I'm going to tell you, you married brother and you're married sisters, if you have a history of having sex with someone, especially someone that you sleep with every now and then, you're still connected to them, whether you want to believe it or not. That person could be way cross country, living somewhere else in another relationship, but you think about that person. You feel sometimes you think about that person so much, it seems like that person there with you, because it's a part of them that's still connected to you. You have to pray to God to get that stuff out of you, because if you don't, you're going to compare your escapades with your mate that you're going to get married to. And if you don't get it clear before you get married, you're going to take it into your marriage. You're going to be thinking about that other person that's still there. That's why it's so easy sometimes for people to go back into the past, because you're familiar with that person. You're familiar with them. That's why it's so easy to go sleep with somebody from your past, because you got that tie in, and then the physical part. That's what happened. Now, that's the soul tie thing. Yes, sister, it's something deep, Sister Keisha. It's something deep. But let me tell you, remember I said the soul, you are tied. What you going to do, my brother? What you going to do, my sister? How you going to be delivered? You have done what you weren't supposed to do. I have done what I wasn't supposed to do. And like I said, my brother and sister, I'm guilty of the fornication and all that kind of stuff. I'm guilty of it. I had a past and all that kind of stuff. I did. But you see, the thing about it, I had to pray. I had to pray for deliverance. Like you, brother, and you sister have to pray for deliverance. But let me tell you, once you get delivered, and if you're in the right type of relationship, because remember I said it's three types of sex: fornication, adultery, and consummation. When you get married, my brother and sister, the sex thing, believe me, some of you brothers and sisters, if you're not married, it takes on a whole different, it goes to a whole different level. I'm telling you, because you know why? Because you see, now you decide to do it God's way. You did it your way, and you thought that person that you probably had sex with in the past, you thought that person was the bomb, right? You think that person was the bomb, right? That person was the bomb. You probably told that person that he or she the best you ever had. From a flesh standpoint, yes, it probably was true to you. But when you're in the right relationship, my brothers, I'm telling you, my brothers, when you're in the right relationship, and I have said it before, it's a utopia thing that I cannot really describe it to you. You have to experience for yourself. It's just like if someone trying to tell you what heaven like. They can give you some imagery, but they cannot really tell you what heaven like, because they haven't been there. You know what I mean? You get images of heaven, but you haven't been there. It's just like if a man or woman is in the right type of relationship, they're serious, they're committed, and they're in a covenant relationship. If you're not there and you haven't been there, but if you go there and you do it that particular way, let me tell you something. When you're in the right type of relationship with someone and you do the sex part, it's very beautiful. It's very, very beautiful. And you see the man and the woman, the man thinking more than just climaxing. I mean, ejaculation. He's thinking more than the ejaculation. The woman thinking more about the climax. The act itself it got more passion in it than it would be if you're not in the right type of relationship. And the reason why I got all that, because if we don't do it God way, God hold back. God don't let us enjoy it to its totality. If we don't do it God way, you can have the physical part, but you can't experience what's going on with the soul. So when a man and a woman doing it the right way, it's still the same thing. The mind is interfacing with each one mind. The will is interfacing, and the emotion is interfacing. While you're doing the physical part, and you see at that particular time, you're getting close, you're getting more deeper. That's where intimacy comes by. If you're not having sex in the right type of relationship, you don't have It's nothing intimate about it. You don't have no, you just don't have it. I'm trying to put in the right word. The intimacy is not going to be there. The passion is not going to be there. The only thing that's going to be there is what is called lust. Most women and most men that have sex, it is lust. It's not love, it's lust. And I hate to tell you this, because most of the time that's what it's going to be. It's going to be lust. Now, from a spiritual standpoint, Jesus said, and it's written in Matthew 5:28, Matthew 5:28, Matthew 5:28. Jesus said, but I say unto you that whosoever look on a woman to lust after her have already committed adultery with her already in his heart. Remember, I said that at the beginning of the broadcast, I asked the question. The question what I asked, where does the act of sex take place, or to say it differently, where is the birthplace of sex? It's on the inside, not the outside. So when a man look at a woman, as Jesus said that, I didn't say it, I'm just a news reporter. Jesus said that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her have committed adultery with her already in his heart. This is an inside thing. Before the penis penetrate the vagina, you already could be guilty. Now, you see, you got to be careful, brother, how you look at a woman, and sister, you have to be careful how you look at a man. Now, when you see in your mind forming where y'all taking each other clothes off, you got to immediately think about something else. If you don't do it, if you continue to take the clothes off in your mind and you imagine how it would be interfacing with that person, that's where you have committed it. You understand? So some people say, well, I didn't have sex with him or her. They talk about from a physical standpoint. But from within, you have already done it. You are guilty before you actually do the physical part. Because everything happens from the inside out. Most people don't look at it like that. When it comes to affairs, relationship, whatever you want to call it. It happens on the inside before the body does it. But it affects the body. From 1 Corinthians 6, chapter 6, 18, 20. Again, 1 Corinthians 6, 18, 20. 1 Corinthians 6, that's chapter 6, 18, 20. It say, flee fornication. What does flee mean? It means run. If your name Forrest Gump or Miss Gump, you run. As a matter of fact, you often remember that story in the Bible about Joseph. You remember when his brothers sold him to these travelers? You remember Joseph, right? The one that his dad Israel gave this pretty coat and stuff, and his brothers were jealous of him. That Joseph. Remember, he was in Potiphar's house, right? And Potiphar's wife had a sexual desire for him. And he knew it. He knew it. And so he ran. But she grabbed his coat and she framed him. She told her husband that he was trying to take it from her. She set him up. He had to do some time in jail, but he became the second highest ranking man in Egypt because he moved away from it. He did not want to do it. The Bible said that Joseph was, when you look at it, he was a very attractive man. And that's what that woman wanted. Potiphar's wife wanted him. She wanted him to have sex. Again, 1 Corinthians 6, 18, 20, it said, flee fornication. It said, every sin that a man does is without the body. Remember, everything happened on the inside. So whatever you do, brother and sister, it happens on the inside. It said every sin that a man does is without the body. It's coming from the soul, the mind, the will, and the emotion. Now here go the contrast. The contrast is this. It said, but he that committed fornication sinneth against his own body. Whenever you have sex with someone, you're doing it against your own body. Your body is a temple or a house, and you live in it. And it also goes on to say, what? Know you not that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost which is in you? If you are following Christ, my brother and sister, you have the Spirit in you. So not only do you have your soul in you, you have the Spirit of God in you. Again, what know you not that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost which is in you, which ye have of God? You are not your own. You're not your own. For you are bought with a price. Therefore glorify God in your body and in your spirit which are God. So what it's saying, my brother, sister, if you are a single man or a single woman and you have the Spirit of God in you, and sometimes people fall. I just got to be realistic. Sometimes people fall, okay? But you got to remember this, my brother and sister, that if you are following the Lord and you're not doing it the right way and you have sex with somebody, it's more than you and that person. You have the Spirit of the Lord. You're taking the Spirit of the Lord into that act itself. So imagine this. You, brother, and you, sister, you're not doing it the right way. So you're having bodily sex, right? So your souls are tying together. And if the person don't have the Spirit of the Lord, guess what spirit the person have? You're either going to have the Spirit of the Lord or you're going to have the spirit of the wicked one. It can't be two. Now just imagine that person that you aren't equally yoked with and you're not married to them, but you're just doing your physical thing, right? So just get this in your mind. Your body is intertwined. Your soul, your mind, your will, and your emotion is intertwined. Then you got the Spirit. You taking the Lord into that sexual act, my brother and sister. You understand? You're taking the Lord into it. So, brother and sister, brother, is you that woman in Christ, if you got Christ in you, okay? Sister, if you got Christ in you, it's you, that man in Christ. So, it's not, Jesus don't leave your body. He don't leave your body. You taking him in there with. That's why it say that we can make the Spirit sad. We could quench the Spirit. And if you keep doing it and doing it and doing it, it's going to come to a point where your conscience is going to be seared. You know what it means to have your conscience seared? You see, you'll feel guilty. If you have the Spirit of the Lord, you're going to feel guilty when you do it. This whether you're married, if you're single and you're doing it and you're in Christ, you're going to feel guilty. If you're married and do it with someone else, you're going to experience some guilt. But you see, the dangerous part is if you make it a habit. If you make it a habit, you're going to get to the point where it doesn't bother you no more. Initially, it bothers you, and a few times it's going to bother you when you're doing something against God. But it'll get to the point where it don't bother you no more. Because like when you're doing something with someone like that, you might say, Lord, forgive me, right? You might say, forgive me. But it'll get to the point where you won't even ask the Lord to forgive you. That's just how it'll sneak up on you. So I'm telling you, my brothers and sisters, it's a right way and a wrong way to do this thing. What happened to the soul doing it after sex? If you are not married, if you're not in a serious, committed, and covenant relationship, some consequences are going to come. You're going to experience an emotional trauma. You're going to probably have some bad relationship with other people. You're going to wonder why you can't sustain a relationship because of something that happened in your past when you were sleeping with somebody when you weren't doing it the right way. You understand? I'm just trying to help you, brothers. I'm trying to help you, sisters, okay? And like I said, I'm guilty of having sex with, before I was married. I'm guilty of it. But you see, the thing about it, I had to be cleansed. I had to be cleansed away. I had to get all that junk out of me. And I realized that was some of you brothers and sisters got to do. If you're not married, my brothers and sisters, You're going to have to, if you follow the Lord, and I know it's hard. I know it's hard. I know it's hard, brothers. I know that it's hard, sisters, especially if you like that physical thing. It's hard. But back to what I was saying about husband and wife before I go. When a man and woman, it goes beyond the physical realm. That man and woman, they get more closer. You get more closer with your mate. You have more passion. You have more intimacy. Cause you see, when you doing it the right way, God gonna put passion in it. He's gonna put you're gonna be more intimate. You know why you're gonna have more passion and intimate? Because Christ is in the man and he's in the woman. Christ is working through that man and Christ is working through that woman. So the man thinking, I need to please my wife, and that comes from Christ. Christ's spirit telling that man's soul to communicate to the body, please your wife. And then Christ's spirit telling that woman's soul to communicate to her body, please your husband. So they're more in a giving state instead of a it's all about me state. So once that man ejaculates, and once that woman climax, and you're going to understand this too when it comes to the physical part. Brothers, when it comes to the physical part, if you're in the right type of relationship, and I have said this before, you're going to experience this than what you experience with other women. If your wife had the Spirit of the Lord, and you have the Spirit of the Lord, and when you have sex, even if you had sex with someone outside, before you had sex with your wife, when you were single or whatever, you're going to, about your wife, let me tell you about your wife body. Your wife body is going to be more, it's not going to be, and I have used it before, it's not going to be like the Sahara Desert. That's what I can say. Now, some women that you have dealt with, brother, they might get moist, okay? They might get physically moist. But when you're in the right type of relationship, it's more of an overflow on the physical level. Your woman, she's going to be more lubricated. You understand? Because you're intertwined with her body, her soul, and her spirit. And that's what her body gonna be like that. Like women that you're not, that you're not married to or whatever. Oh yes, they could get moist, but they cannot get moist as a woman that you're in the right relationship with. And sister, this too. If you have a man, if you're accustomed to men not being able to hold up, and you come to a man that's into the Lord and stuff, this man gonna be so focused on pleasing you before he think about himself. He's gonna try to make sure that you taken care of, completely taken care of. You understand? Some of the men that, if you're not in the right type of relationship, you haven't said another man, he might try to make it seem like he's taking care of you, but the only thing he could take care of is your physical. You're on a physical level. He cannot take care of what's really, really going on in you. Keith said, does the Bible speak against oral sex? I haven't seen in the Bible nothing about oral sex, Keisha. But I must tell you this. When it comes to a man and a woman in the right type of relationship, if they're in the right type of relationship, that man and woman needs to do whatever it takes to please his or her mate. Now, there are some people that might want to go to the preacher and say, well, my husband or my wife, they want to do this and that. Is it okay, preacher, if I do that? Why are you asking your preacher? Your preacher might be doing what you asking him to do. You understand? Your preacher might be thinking about, your preacher don't need to know what's going on in your bedroom. That between sister, you and your husband, brother, you and your wife. You do whatever it takes to please your mate if you're doing it in the right type of relationship. Keith said, does the Bible against oral sex rather than you're married or not? Well, no type of physical thing is supposed to take place if you're not married. To be realistic, Keisha, no type of sex is supposed to take place if you're not married. And like I have said several times through this broadcast, I have been guilty of the sexual part when I'm not married. Okay, I'm guilty of it. I was guilty, but nobody can throw it up in my face. You know why nobody can throw it up in my face? The reason why nobody can throw it up in my face is because I dealt with it and the Lord cleansed me. So nobody can say, Tony, you had sex, you did this, you did that, and I can say, yep, I sure did. But the Lord cleansed me. Did he clean you? That's the question. Did he clean you? He cleansed me. And with that said, my brother and sister, remember, when it comes to that, it's some serious stuff. It's more than casual. Sex is serious. Take it to heart, my brother and sister. Sex is very, very serious. My sisters, my sister. Like I had said earlier. And like I said, I was being generous. If 10 men approach you on the same day, if 10 men approach you, and I'm being generous, 7 of them gonna want to have sex with you. If they could get it that day, they'll get it that day. Okay? I'm just being realistic. Brothers, if 10 women approach you that day, 8 of them gonna want what you could do for them. 2 might want you for who you are. And I'm being generous on that. So what you have to do, my brother and sister, you got to be with the right person. Thank you, brother, and thank you, sister, so much for being here. Thank you for your time. I love you, brother. I love you, sister. It's about time for me to get out of here. I hope that you all have a good night. I hope that you have a good day, Lord willing. I love you, brothers. I love you, sister. Peace.